My name is James Gray. I'm an actor, dancer, choreographer, teacher, writer, director, an all-round theatrician. And part of what makes my work happen is wondering what the hell it's all about. Now, whatever happened to the great leaders of the world, the great strategists, the empire builders who inspired confidence and forward-thinking? Today all we've got is a bunch of disposable, low-rent politicians who are here today and gone tomorrow, in it for as much as they can get. The idea of serving the community is long gone. It's just grab, 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 and then on you go. Someone once suggested that politics was show business for ugly people, and they're not wrong. These egos are out of control. Great sense of entitlement that you wouldn't believe. And of course a pension plan second to none. Who else continues to get paid once they've left the job? And I wonder how that happened. Oh, I know, politicians voted for it. Who wouldn't? But the requirements to be a politician are so low. You need to pass a test to drive a car, but no. All you need to be a politician is access to unlimited cash and a devious nature. It's no surprise that up to 70% of any politicians in any leading parliament or state in first world countries started their career as lawyers. Now, that means they have that vicious attack dog approach and the ability to bend the truth to suit their own ends. So is it any wonder that if you've ever had anything to do with a court case, you will know it's nothing to do with right or wrong. It's about points of law. So if your attack dog can perform better than the opposition's, you will win your case. So I guess it's no surprise that politics is the next stage for these people. And stand-up comedians, funnily enough. Awful lot of ex-lawyers are stand-up comedians. Funny that. Anyway, so when we get down to it, what exactly are we looking for in our politicians? Are we looking for great thinkers? No. Because in this age of patronizing tokenism, we are told we don't have enough women in politics. This is coming right on the end of a bunch of women politicians in Australia who were in tears in the corridor because they were bullied to follow a certain path that they weren't into. So maybe there's a good reason for not having women in politics. It's a nasty, nasty game. You leave your decency at the door. So what do? We go, okay, darling, you'd be perfect to be in Parliament. Oh, but I'm incompetent and I know nothing about it. Never mind, you've got a vagina. Go and sit at the back. No one will notice. Is this what we want? Do we really want a bunch of seat-sitters filling out some token quota? Oh, isn't there enough driftwood in Parliament as it is? And following that logic, how does that follow on then? Do we then not have enough Muslims in Parliament? Are there not enough Chinese people in Parliament? Are there not enough left-handed redheads? And at what point does the ethnicity or the gender take precedence over the quality of the campaigner? So, okay, so we've got a politician comes in, sharp brain. Oh, sorry, mate, we've got a woman up there. She's not very bright, but she's got a uterus, and we've got to fill out the quota this month. So, is that how it works? Is this where we're heading? Good God. So anyway, so we've got all of this mad quota system, and we've got modern politics, which is all about spin and opinion polls and distractions in the media, while the heavy-duty policy is done behind closed doors and slipped in while no one notices. Intriguing, a poll recently of young people, 18 to 40-ish, said democracy wasn't working. Democracy wasn't working. Okay, on further inspection, they weren't too keen on communism. They weren't too keen on a lot of other disciplines either. So it wasn't that democracy wasn't working. It's how it was administered wasn't working. And you can see why. Because we've got a whole load of policy with minority groups who have constantly made policy in recent years, with governments bending over backwards to give everybody exactly what they want. Doesn't work. It can't happen. People are starting to wake up and think, now wait a minute, some of these policies aren't beneficial for the rest of us. Here's an example. I can perform at a festival or a concert or in some place where there are hundreds and hundreds of people. One person doesn't like what I'm doing, they will go in and complain to the centre management, and I will never get booked again. So all the other people, hundreds of people who enjoyed it, their opinion counts for nothing. So similarly, whilst in modern politics, the minority groups have made more noise than anybody else, they're getting their policy in. And suddenly people are waking up and thinking, no, wait a minute. It's also become an issue now where it's a sort of victim society. You only get something if there's something wrong with you. You've got to be old or disabled or unemployed or have 16 children, or there's got to be something wrong with you. If you are a single white male, there's nothing for you. You are paying for everybody else's benefits. It used to be the joke that if you were a one-legged black lesbian single mother, you had it made. Well, that sure is true nowadays. But is this really what we're looking for? Because now, after all this kind of stuff, it's driving people towards the back-to-basics kind of approach, the Donald Trumps of this world. Now, remember, this is still politics, so there's still an element of deviousness and underhandedness here. But people like to feel they are being spoken to as people and not spoken down, patronized. Oh, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. People have had enough of that. Now, we've got dear old Donald Trump in the White House, divisive character. Donald himself seems to be a very strange character, like a carnival barker. Roll up, let's make America great again. But fundamentally, under all this bluff and bluster and all this Twitter and all this nonsense, the idea of a president or a prime minister or a leader putting their own country first is very, very appealing, because it doesn't happen very often. Here in Australia, we've got a whole bunch of dingbats. We get a different prime minister every 6 months, whether we want one or not. Yes, we have democratic elections every 3 years, and we all have to vote. Voting is compulsory in Australia. We all go off and vote we vote for the least worst. And then a few months later, the good old boys get back together in the back room and vote their mate out and their best mate in, and we get some prime minister. We don't know who they are. We don't know anything about them, and they're less effective than the one before, and it becomes a joke. No wonder people have given up on politics, and yet it's so important because it's fucking up our lives left, right and centre. Is this really what we want? We should be demanding more. And we're not. So I guess we get what we deserve. Oh well, that's life as we know it. Until next time, keep your hand on it.